Hello again, everyone. It's Vince, and this is our update for February 26th, 2026. Let's take a quick look at how things played out today. Overall, not a lot of action, but we were all waiting for earnings from Nvidia last night. And so let's start there before I get to the main charts. And as you can see, they did come out with some very good earnings, beat top and bottom line, but uh, it wasn't good enough apparently for the market, and we did see Nvidia drop 10.5 points or 5.5%. So what that translated to the overall market with is the Dow down just 3 points, pretty flat. S&P down about 40, and the Nasdaq down a little over 300 here, while the Russell squeaked out a gain of 13. If we look at crude oil, it was down 21 cents, although it was pretty volatile today, but ended up close to yesterday's close. The metals took a bit of a break. Gold down 32, silver down 340 here. And bond yields were lower across the board. The dollar was higher, but still unable to get above that trend line. The VIX is at 1862. And on the crypto side of things, Bitcoin down about 600 and Ethereum down 27 here. So if we, sorry, I was looking for I did not open the page for the economic data points, but I'll just tell you, there was really not much today. We had the initial jobless claims, which came in line with expectations, and tomorrow we get the PPI report. So look forward to that. Now, in addition to that, I have a number of charts that I want to share with you. Now, I've done something a little different here. Instead of bringing up my spreadsheet to show you, I've listed them here, and there's several that I want to go over. These are my favorites to the long side, HAS and TXT. To the downside, I'm not going to call them favorites, but there's two. So we'll start there. We'll start at the bottom. TSCO here is a short setup today. Now we're in an interesting spot here. We're kind of hovered along this key level for quite some time. And, again, we dipped below, we tried to break back above, and now we failed. So if we look at the weekly, there's still a little bit of congestion here. And if we look at the monthly, it's still early on in this. And this is why it's not one of my favorites. And yes, as I said before, Victory 3 does not require the higher time frames to be in line, but it's always a good thing. But I wanted to point this out because it's very early on in this move. It's been very messy, very choppy here. But if we start to break lows, this could be something to look at. So just heads up to put her on a watch list. That's all. Tesla is another one here. And we've talked about Tesla numerous times. And as I said, what I was looking for was either the 388 level down here to the downside or the 435 level up here. Now we're still in between. So again, this is not a short that I'm going to jump on right away, but it's a heads up that, the break of this low near 388 could be happening in the next few days. So that's something to keep an eye on. We have CCL, which is a long. The rest of these are to the long side, and I'll get to my favorites at the end. So I'm going to just whip through some of these. Now, I've already checked the earnings dates on these, and they're far enough away, 22 days away for CCL, and I think that's the closest. Most of these are 50, 60, 70 days away. They've already come out with earnings. So earnings is not something to worry about, but as always, when you're looking at these, what you want to look at is it a clean chart? Is it trending strongly? Is there, a lot of overhead resistance or not? That sort of thing, especially when you're comparing one to the other. The bulk of these are near all-time highs and are pretty clean, but just wanted to share some of these. So CCL, and then we had Realty Income Corp, symbol O. Now, many of these are not my favorite just because they are a little far from the second level stop here, the ATR. But as I said, many of these look pretty strong. So this one not quite at the highs yet, but looking pretty good. And so far, we've got a potential long setup on the monthly. Now, we're only a couple of days away from that, or actually 1 day away from that. So this should end up with this long plus on the monthly, which then is something that should definitely be on the watch list going forward. CF here, CF Industries looking pretty good as well. Let me show you the weekly and the monthly here. Nothing else overhead, pretty much just that all-time high near 120 coming up. If we go back to the daily and go to DVA, here's another one. Now we had a huge gap on earnings, quick follow through here. So a lot of momentum push here. We crossed that key level. And here's the monthly. So big, big month this month. And again, not a lot overhead except for the all-time high near 180 on this one. LYV, same thing. We had a quick burst through, pullback. And now if you look across, we're finding some support in this area and bouncing. But if we look at the weekly, looks pretty good. The monthly looking great here. And let's go to waste management, WM. I like this one. This one looks pretty strong. Nice big candle. And very close to those all-time highs, which come in near 242. We're still at 233.90 here, but very, very clean. UNP is another strong one. Now, we kind of burst out and now more or less going sideways. I mean, you can still call this a climb, but certainly has slowed down. But what I do like about it is we haven't received any sort of pullback. So although we haven't continued going up as much as we were before, and that's not sustainable. We all know that, but it's still holding its own. And you look at the weekly, and this might be why. So we cleared all of this mess, and we moved above it, and we're holding our own. There's really not much left except for the all-time high, I believe, at 280. Let's confirm. Yep, right around 280. There it is. So that's a nice looking chart as well. PSA. Now this one's messier, certainly on the daily. And when we look at the weekly and we look at the monthly, still a little messy. Not my favorite, but every time, not every time, excuse me, I didn't mean to say that. Most of the time, when we clear this key level here, and then we get our first pullback, we generally tend to get a decent move, and that's another reason why I'm highlighting it. CME looks pretty strong, has been strong for a while. And the weekly, the monthly, look very clean, very steady. FDX, look how clean that is. Look how strong that move is. Now, about a week of consolidation here so far, and now we get another long. And if you look at this on a weekly and a monthly, been really, really strong. HII, here, another one that looks pretty good. Weekly, monthly, there it is. Again, I'm showing you a lot here. I want you to get used to these new victory setups. There are going to be a lot. I'm not generally going to share this many with you, but what I will do on weekends and at the end of the month, and so this weekend, it happens to be the end of a month. So this weekend, I'm going to go through the monthly charts, the weekly charts, and come up with a couple of lists for you to add on a watch list and continue to watch over the next few weeks and months, and look for setups there on the lower time frames. But I want you to start getting your eyes used to this, and so I'm highlighting several different ones, and then I'm going to show you my couple of favorites here. So this is another one, PH, Parker Hannifin, that has been looking really strong and steady. Look how clean this is, continuing to make all-time highs. RCL. Now, this one, again, looking at it and comparing it to others, I'd throw this out, right? But one of the things I want to show you is we broke through, came back, and are holding this level and now send up long again. So that's the main reason I'm looking at that. And if we look at the week and the month, he's still looking very, very strong here. RPRX, I really like as well. Nice stair-step formation, pretty clean. And where are we? Entering into an area that has a lot less overhead resistance, but still a lot of room to go. SanDisk is one, along with Micron, etc., that have really been leading this market higher recently. Now, it's taken a bit of a break, but have a look at this. If we look a little closer, it's kind of hard to see when you have it like this because of all the wording and the signals in here. But if you just take your trend line, the way I would look at it is an ascending triangle here, right? So really be looking for a break of this high up here near 690. I like this signal. It's a long plus. It looks great. If you look at the weekly, I mean, we don't have to go to the month. We've got the whole history right here, right? Great pattern. What's not to like? But above 690, even safer there. RYAAY. And this one, after a drop, we get that move up, right? And so we cleared a high here, and that's what I like. Now, what we don't really have is a higher low. I mean, we can look at these lows here. To me, not enough. Another pullback here and another higher low pivot would be great. But this looks like a strong push through that ATR. When we look at the weekly, this gives us a different perspective. We pull back right into prior support and bounce nicely. And when you look at the monthly, you know, here we are sitting near the highs, nothing left. And you know, we had a significant pullback, right? And a bounce. So also a positive looking candle on the monthly here. So a lot of nice charts there. Now TXT, I like this for a number of reasons. First of all, if we look at the weekly and then the monthly, where are we? We're just breaking into new all-time highs. So we're there, but it's early on in that move. And if we go back to the daily, we had this pullback, which came into prior support and held, okay? And we're not all that far from that ATR. So like this quite a bit. Also, again, earnings, nothing to worry about, 56 days away. And Hasbro here is another one that I really like. It is very clean to me, real nice. The weekly still in that long trend trade, and here's the monthly as well. We're clearing this area, the top of this bit of a mess. So just above here, it should get easier and easier for this thing to move forward. Now, have a little bit of a pullback. And what I'm liking here is if we draw a trend line across these highs, technically here, it's a breakout. Now, would I rather see it cross that high today? Yes, absolutely. But that's about it. And that high comes in at 101, what was it? 101.59 here. So it's also a nice round 100 number that's holding support. Looking pretty good. There's a lot to choose from here. A lot of them look good. I mean, SanDisk looks really good to me. The reason why it's not one of my favorites is just a higher price stock. And honestly, I'd like to see it get above 690. But otherwise, there's a lot to look at here. So again, as we go forward, I'm going to whittle the list down a little more. But I want you to see as many of these charts with Victory 3 as possible to get accustomed to it and look at the little things, right? Like the distance from the ATR and et cetera. So a Apologize for the lengthy video. Usually it's not this long, but I thought it was important to show you several of these. If you want to add these to a watch list, etc., just pause the recording, take a snapshot of this, and off you go. Now, tomorrow, Friday, February 27th, we're going to kick off another live market chat at 1 p.m. Eastern. Come out and join us if you can. But until then, I hope you have a great evening, and we'll see you on our next update. Take care.